My parents want me to break up with my boyfriend because he's not from our culture. I have been dating Mark for almost 10 months now. We met through a mutual friend's birthday gathering at this tiny hole-in-the-wall Korean BBQ place downtown. The first few months were wonderful. We took things slow, got to know each other through coffee dates and walks in the park. Mark is thoughtful, caring, and treats me as an equal in every way. He remembers small details about things I mention in passing and always makes space for my thoughts and feelings. I've never felt this comfortable being myself with someone before. I grew up in a fairly traditional South Korean household. My parents, Junho and Jiyeon, immigrated here 25 years ago, but have maintained strong ties to our cultural roots. Growing up, there was always an unspoken expectation that I would eventually marry someone Korean, preferably from a good family with the right background. They never explicitly forbade dating outside our culture, but their preferences were abundantly clear from the comments they'd make whenever my cousins dated non-Koreans. When I first mentioned Mark casually in conversation, I noticed my mom's smile tighten slightly. She asked his full name again, then followed up with questions about what kind of family he came from. I kept it vague, saying we were just getting to know each other, but that first interaction should have been my warning sign. Things truly erupted 3 months ago when Mark came to pick me up for dinner and unexpectedly met my parents. My dad answered the door while I was still getting ready upstairs. I came down to find Mark awkwardly standing in our entryway, while my father gave one-word responses to his friendly attempts at conversation. The tension in the room was suffocating. That night, I returned home to find both parents waiting up for me, something they hadn't done since high school. My father started by asking innocuous questions about where we went for dinner before my mother cut in. She didn't raise her voice, which almost made it worse. In her calm, measured tone, she explained that while Mark seemed nice enough, he could never truly understand our family, our values, or our traditions. She suggested I was being selfish by pursuing a relationship that would complicate things for everyone. I tried explaining how much Mark respects me and our culture, how he's gone out of his way to learn about Korean traditions, has tried learning basic phrases through Duolingo, and even watches K-dramas with me to understand more about my heritage. Dad just shook his head and said something that still echoes in my head. It's not about effort, Sumit. Some differences can't be bridged. Last weekend was my cousin's wedding, and my parents pressured me to attend solo, despite Mark being explicitly included on my invitation. During the reception, my aunt, who's had 3 glasses of soju by this point, pulled me aside and warned me that my parents were talking to the parents of a suitable boy they want to introduce me to, son of a family friend who just finished his medical residency. Apparently, they've convinced themselves that this thing with Mark is just a phase I'll grow out of. Yesterday, things reached a breaking point. My mom came into my room while I was cacao talking with my friend and asked if we could talk. She sat on my bed with this sad expression and told me they were genuinely worried about my future happiness. She said mixed relationships face challenges that I'm too young to fully comprehend, and that they've seen these kinds of relationships fall apart once the novelty wears off. She handed me a list of dating apps specifically for Koreans, saying my cousin found her husband on one of them. She actually suggested I could let Mark down gently and have someone new lined up within weeks, as if my relationship is some interchangeable, disposable thing. She even mentioned that my grandmother in Seoul has been asking when I'll bring home a nice Korean boy and how disappointed she would be. I called Mark afterward, fighting back tears as I explained what happened. Instead of getting defensive or angry at my parents, he just listened. He acknowledged that cultural differences are real challenges, but said he believes in us enough to face them together if I wanted to. He didn't pressure me either way, which somehow made me feel both better and worse. I'm stuck between the family who raised me and the future I want to build. My parents aren't bad people. They genuinely believe they're protecting me from future heartache, but I can't ignore how happy Mark makes me, or the fact that we share core values even if our backgrounds differ. I'm seeing them for family dinner tomorrow night, and I know they're expecting an answer about whether I'll meet this doctor they've found perfect for me. I'm terrified of disappointing them, but equally terrified of giving up someone who treats me with such genuine care and respect.